In this episode, we travel from Circleville, Utah to Cottonwood, Arizona. We arrived at the Thousand Trails Campground in Cottonwood, Arizona. All of these parks function differently, despite what they will tell you, and this one is the first come, first serve, and you have to hunt for an available spot with very little direction on what sites might even be available. I have a love-hate relationship with Thousand Trails, and I'm sure I'll get into this in another video, but suffice it to say that we finally found a back-end spot that we managed to get into, and we were able to enjoy a beautiful sunset. If you've been following us for a while, you'll remember that in this video, I tore my rotator cuff and bicep and had to have surgery. Then another surgery a couple of months later to break up some of the nasty adhesive capsulitis, which was keeping me from having full range of motion.
This is an example of physical rehabilitation following rotator cuff surgery.
Long time in coming. Up in the air, back over my head. I've been able to do that in over a year. Internet at this campground is non-existent except for the recreation halls, so we spent a lot of time there. On this particular evening, a duo called Double Take set up, and we took some time out to enjoy the entertainment. This particular campground has an airstrip for radio-controlled aircraft, and this morning at 9:30 they're supposed to have flying. I don't know if anybody's going to show up or not. We've been out scouting trying to find this airstrip because you have to kind of wind around to find it, and it's kind of hidden, but we did find it. We know this is where the action's supposed to be and should start in about 20 minutes. So this is the airstrip. It's actually gravel, but it's nicely compacted, it looks like. Severe downhill. Gorgeous view. There's even an area of picnic tables where we can sit and watch.
Well, we came here for the radio-controlled aircraft demonstration, and we have a really nice runway here and a nice facility, but we don't have airplanes.
Bummer.
So we have waited past the appointed time. We're going to wait a little while longer, but it doesn't look like we're going to have much activity today.
Oh well, maybe another time. Pokey. Mommy and Daddy are going on a train ride today. But you don't get to go because kitties are not allowed. Oh, and there's our alarm saying it's time to leave. So on our way out this morning, cows on the road. Moo.
Bovine friends.
There are no fences. Oh, look at that one. There are no fences on this road. They just roam freely, and we didn't know that till we were coming back one night and there was one on the road. Makes for some interesting driving sometimes. By the way, this crack in the windshield, which you're noticing it's gotten a lot longer. It's almost halfway across the windshield. We are getting it fixed next week. Thank goodness, because it's right at my eye level and I'm getting tired of having to work around it. There are a lot of these things out west, these roundabouts. Still haven't decided if I like them or not. What are your thoughts? Do you have any on the roundabouts?
Well, they do provide traffic calming, and because they occur frequently enough, they keep the people from really speeding and becoming NASCAR racers on the intervals between the roundabouts, because ultimately they have to slow down anyway. They are kind of a pain because sometimes their configurations throw you off onto roads that you are not expecting.
Verde Canyon Railroad. Today we're going to ride the Verde Canyon Railroad wilderness route. And this is the car that we will be on, the Wickenburg. Down at this end of our car is another one. It's an open air car. So we'll get to come out here and look at the sights as well. This is a 20-mile out and 20-mile back train. I think it takes about 3 or 4 hours. We have a first class ticket on here, mainly just because of that's what was available. It does include food. Always focused on food. Oh well, it's, you know, kind of what we do. But that isn't, snacks really are included in this. Jan and I thought of you when I saw this tea towel. The Roadrunner. Never seen one in person before.
Oh, he's a goner. I know.
He's sitting there right in front of us.
I've never seen one up that close.
I've never seen one in person before.
Oh, really? We've seen
Yeah.
a number of them, but
I don't know if I can sneak up on him or not. Probably not. Come on, Roadrunner.
there he is. There he is.
Verde Canyon Railroad uses FP7 engines 1510 and 1512. These started out their tenure with Alaska Railroad and had several changes of ownership before usage with Valley Verde. The FP7 is 4 feet longer than its predecessor, the venerable F7A engine made by the EMD division of General Motors. These extra 4 feet between the front side porthole and the cooling vents allowed for extra water to be carried for steam generation to heat the passenger cars.
This is the route we will be taking, and it's time to board the train.
I'm going to do a champagne toast. So I'm going to start handing out the champagne. All I ask is that you don't chug it right away. Okay? Because I'm going to say something inspiring. And we're all going to drink together. Here's to a safe trip, new friends, and new adventures. Cheers, guys. Cheers. One there.
Clink.
The first trestle or railroad bridge that we crossed had been recycled. The bridge was constructed using an old turntable from the Prescott Roundhouse and is now called Turntable Bridge.
Somewhere out there is an eagle's nest. We've seen them before in Florida, and the nests are huge, but we're not seeing it. Smoothies. Yeah. Mango smoothie. Still not seeing anything, but we're told the eagles are not nesting right now, but it's still possible to see one. We'll keep looking. In this area, we're looking for a house that was the original one out here. Never had electricity or running water, but the family raised 9 kids in it. We were coming up on a tunnel, and the crew wanted us to yell as loud as we could when we went through it, which we did, but the screeching of the train was so loud that even with adjusting the volume during editing, it was still very painful to listen to, so I won't subject your ears to it. If you do take this trip, I recommend that you stick some tissue, cotton, or earplugs in during this segment of the trip, and for sure turn off your hearing aid if you have one. Well, there goes my hearing. Get a little video.
Janice, Bob, Marvin.
Bauer and Bowers.
Yeah, but you guys are B-O-W-E-R-S.
Yeah, and you're a BAU, right? Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
They're switching the engines from what was the front of the train coming out here, and now they're moving it to move it to what was the back of the train, which is going to become the front of the train. I don't know how they're going to hook us back up. If there's a round table back there that they do this with, I don't know, I'll have to ask. Water stop for steam engines. Okay, and I guess the engine, what it did was
When they went
it
to
just-
diesel,
it just went on up ahead of us and did a switch in the track, and then switched to the train, to the track next to us. Going up ahead, and it'll do the same thing up there and reattach. We'll head back.
many years ago, when the smelter was in operation, ribbons of molten slag, the waste product of the copper processing, flowed across the countryside in an area next to the station. Iron pipes and sheet metal barriers kept the slag from the tracks. Over 40 years the slag accumulated, and it now covers about 40 acres with a depth of about 40 feet. There are rumors that there is gold in the slag, but reprocessing this material will be difficult.
Well, I never did see the eagle or the nest, and I never did get a really good shot of that roadrunner, darn it. But it was still a fun trip.
This is incredible scenery. The Verde River provides water and a thin narrow of wildlife and plant life that sustains a whole ecological system. I would highly recommend this trip.
Very relaxing.
Yes.
Nice to be able to go in and be inside in the air conditioning, but go outside also.
Yeah, the observation cars are just very well set up. They had a guide on each one that described what we were seeing on the sides of the canyon, and I would highly suggest that this is a good trip.
Good day today, dear.
Yes.
Are you having fun in the box? You want me to ship you out? I could return you to Amazon. Okay. Do you like watching our adventures? Then subscribe to our channel. It's free. If you click on the little bell icon, you'll receive an email notifying when a new video is released. Or check out our website, remotelyretired.com, where we list all of our videos. Thanks for watching.